Hey everybody, it's Angela and I am back with another process video. And for this layout, I am going to use that first We Are Memory Keepers paper, and I also have this cut apart sheet that goes with it. And those are going to be my main color choices on this layout. And then to go with it for my matting pieces, I'm using a few leftover sheets of paper from past Scraptastic kits when I got them last year. And I just had some leftover random pieces that matched with this collection. So I'm going to go ahead and use those. I believe this one might be a Caitlin Schaefer paper. And like I said, the other one were Scraptastic exclusives. And then I'm going to mount my layout on this really bold black and white paper. And I thought about gutting it there for a second. And then I thought, no, I'm just going to map my whole layout on it. So I really love this confetti paper. I love the kind of purpley color that it has in it. And I had originally pulled these out. I was going to use them for Mercy Tierra's scrapbook challenge or 27-day challenge for November, but I didn't quite make it into the challenge time-wise, but I still wanted to go ahead and scrap this photo. And it's just kind of a crazy photo of my husband and my granddaughter, and he's got his mouth open making a silly face and she's got her finger stuck up her nose, and it's so typical for both of them. They're just a little bit wacky, both of them. So I thought it was a really cute photo and I wanted to put it into the baby album. I mean, who wouldn't want a baby picture of themselves with their finger stuck up their nose? I mean, she's gonna love me for this later. So anyhow, I wanted to bring in some pops of that kind of yellowy green color, and so I had the two cut apart cards that I thought I'd pull that color from, and then I just took some strips and things to back my photo. These are all just bits and pieces. I don't think I have, besides the kind of purple one matting it, you know, any nice full sheets behind it, but just a lot of scraps. And I'm just tucking those along there to bring the colors from that confetti up higher onto the paper. And I liked having the confetti, the heavier portion of that paper, be at the bottom, and then have the, you know, white airy part up at the top. So at this point, I'm just kind of distributing the colors around the photo. And now I'm going to start just kind of adhering them together. Kind of getting them evenly spaced around, not really trying not to think too hard about the whole process. Trying to, you know, make it fun and easy and quick and not, you know, dwell on it too much, beat myself up over it, just having fun. So I'm just cutting this card into little pieces so that I can spread it around a little bit. And hopefully the sound is going to be better on this one. My last two videos, my sound was bad. My computer had crashed and I had to get a new motherboard for it, and that didn't work well with my audio card. I had to reinstall all my microphone and get that working again. And this on top of the fact that I had already been playing with my video camera and the settings in my Adobe Premiere, my editing software, to try to make the color and the you know, the quality of the video better. So then I lost my sound quality as well. So I've just been kind of struggling with technology here. So hopefully this video is going to be better and I'm going to be back on track. But thank you guys for hanging in there with me and sticking through this. I know the sound was crappy in my last two videos, so this is the ephemera pack that goes with that confetti, the We Are Memory Keepers paper. And so I have that. I'm thinking that might have came with the Scraptastic kit when I got it. So it had another couple circles in there, which I liked because the circle elements kind of echo that confetti. So I pulled out a nice pink one. And I have these thickers that I got at Tuesday Morning, and I liked that they're clear and kind of whimsical, lowercase. I didn't want anything, this is kind of a fun, silly layout, so I wanted something casual. So I'm just taking them out and putting them on wax paper, and I wind up, I think, using all but one of the E's on this set to spell out my title. So I'm going to have to, my next titles with this are going to have to be with more A's and O's and I's or something. But I'm just going to make the title, yep, they're related, because they are both characters. So I'm just going to spell that out, and then I'm going to try to figure out where I want it. And I'm thinking at this point to put the yep above the photo and then put the they're related over to the right of the photo. So I just go ahead and cut them out so I can just keep moving them around. I think about putting them toward the bottom, putting them all up on top. So this is a good way on the wax paper that you can just play with it and see what you like. And I keep doing it this way with the picture over there on kind of the left and thinking about where my clusters will be. And I just wasn't liking anything. And sometimes you have to really change gears if you're not liking it, and try to think. You get kind of stuck in this box of that my picture has to go there and everything has to go around it. And then I'm like, you know, my picture doesn't have to go there. You know, it doesn't have to be set up like this. So I decide to first move it up higher, get it out of the confetti a little bit more. And then I think, you know, maybe I should just center this picture. So I put that there, and then they're related, and then I put a circle at the top and a circle at the bottom, and I really like that so much better. It just makes a nice column straight down the center of the page. You can still see the confetti, and yeah, so that started coming together. Once I moved that photo and got it out of my head that it had to be, you know, more on the left-hand side, it started coming together. So I'm just taking a little bit of black ink and went around that Be Happy where I had cut that out of one of the cut apart cards. And then I went ahead and edged my other pieces of ephemera that I had pulled out. And I kind of wanted my title at the top to kind of start by overlapping that circle a little bit, just so it would kind of touch and tie those together. And then I wanted to put a little bit of thread. I have some teal thread and some pink that kind of go with that confetti. So I'm just putting a little bit of both those colors under those two opposite corners. And I just like how that kind of softens up the edges, and it kind of gives it the streamers to go with the confetti, I guess. And just brings a little more color and a little more organic feel to the whole thing. So I'm just using my Scotch Quick Dry, and I'm kind of tucking it so that title also goes over a little bit of my photo mat. So again, everything's touching so that it all kind of intertwines and belongs together. So I'm just going to tuck this to just give me a little bit of something to help ground that title on so that it's not floating, and so that it really reinforces that columnar look that's going down the center of the page. And then I'm going to overlap that last circle over the tag. And then I start by putting my Y so it hits right under the mat, but I wind up having to shift these around a little bit once I go to put the next line of wording. You'll see here in a second, they seem just a little bit too far apart because I wanted that related to overlap that pink circle just a tiny bit, like the yep overlaps at the top. So I just pull those down so that they go right across that line on the tag. And then I make it so that my A, the center of my A, is filled with pink from that circle. And I have to move these around a little bit here in a second because it just wasn't quite, with the exclamation point, just wasn't quite centered. So I shift them over a little bit to the left. but I still make sure my A is filled with that pink. It just reads a little better that way. Put my exclamation point on there. So I'm really liking how that's coming together. I want to include a couple little more word items on there, and I want to put a few things up on pop dots because right now everything's flat because I wanted it underneath those title letters. So I wanted them flat to the page so I could put the title over it. So now I'm thinking the top needs a little bit more color. So I go ahead and I take some flowers out of the ephemera pack as well. Just so I can have a little bit of those confetti colors up the top. And then I wanted that smaller flower to the left of the Love This, but I wanted some of the green, that yellow green as well. So I just cut it off another flower. I'm going to layer those together. So I cut that piece. It was an arrow, but I just cut it so that it wasn't an arrow. And put some ink around the edges, and now I'm putting this up on some foam tape just to give it a little bit of dimension there. Same way with this cluster of flowers. I'm going to put the whole thing up on foam tape. And I'm really liking, how it's coming together. Think about putting the bigger flower on the bottom, but I just like that bigger flower at the top. You can see here when I apply it, it just kind of brings all that color up there. So I want to put this black flare, and it says take photos every day. And I like that it pulls out some more of the black from the thickers and from that confetti, which worked really well because the couch in the picture, it's kind of a dark picture because it was indoors where the lighting isn't as good, and then it was backlit from the window. So the dark leather couch, it's dark brown, but in the photo it just shows up as black. So it's not the greatest picture or anything, but I just loved their expressions and the story, and it just brings out their personalities of the two of them. So I really wanted to scrapbook it even though it wasn't the greatest photo. So having that little bit of black in the paper and the embellishments and stuff, pays homage to the fact that the photo's dark, but the whole layout itself helps lighten the photo up with all that white space and all the bright colors. Helps it from getting too dark and overpowering. So here's the close-ups, and you can see the flare and the thread and just that column of embellishments and everything. And I really love how this one turned out. So I didn't quite make it for the 27-day challenge, but hopefully next month I'll be in there and be on time. And again, I hope my videos are better and the sound quality is good on this. So if you have any questions or anything, just leave me a comment below. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.